Good morning. Today's message is, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. Now, the meaning of that seems kind of obvious. If we're going to take the time to do something, we might as well take the time to do a good job and do as well as we can on it. There's often a temptation to take shortcuts or go the easy way because it's simpler, or we don't want to take the time, or we actually may want to do something else instead. For example, in school, we're often tempted to take a shortcut. In math, I know, I was guilty myself, is that I would look at a problem sometimes and I would know the answer. So instead of going through my work and showing the steps to get to the answer, I would just write the answer. Now, that works great when you're working on something that's simpler. But as tasks get more complex and the math gets harder, when you skip those steps, you actually skip the ability to get to the correct answer. So taking shortcuts isn't always what it's cracked up to be. And sometimes it's worth it taking the time to do things well. So here's my advice. Always try and do the best you can. Don't try to take too many shortcuts. They're there, and occasionally it's okay to do that. But we want to try to be as good as we can in things, not just get to a standard or get to a place where we say, well, that's good enough for me, or that's good enough for today, or that's good enough for my friends. We want to strive to be the best that we can be, not the best that someone else is. So work hard, have fun while you're doing it, and if you're taking the time to do something, take the time to do it well. All right, today's activity involves a piece of furniture that I made many years ago. It was one of the first nicer pieces of furniture that I made, and it's a wooden ice chest. It's an ice chest replica, I guess. Well, at the time I made it, I could barely afford the cost of the wood that it took to build it. So I certainly couldn't afford an extra $100 for the nice hardware to put on it. So I put some cheap $2 hinges on it, and it served us for over 20 years. It's a solid oak piece of furniture, and we decided recently to repurpose it in the home and put it in a different spot. And what better time to change the hardware on that chest than now? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take off of the old, inexpensive hinges and put on some nicer brass hinges and a brass catch. Well, here's the chest that I was talking about. I've laid it on its back, and here's the hinges that I have on there right now. So we'll remove these hinges and replace them with these nicer brass hinges that are here. Now, to do that, we want to make sure we keep things aligned. So we use the old hinges to keep the door aligned while we put the new ones on. So first we'll remove one of the old hinges here. Two more screws. Alright, there's the old hinge gone. And we'll replace it with one of the new hinges. Now we want everything to stay lined up like it was before. So we will line it up with this other door. Move that to the side and use this clamp here to hold the door while we're working on it. There, now it won't move while we're working on it. So I'm going to line this hinge up with where I want it to be, and I'm going to use, let's see, that as a standard. And I have this special drill bit here. You can see it keeps the drill bit lined up in the center of where I'm going to drill. So I can just hold it there and drill one hole. And I'll put one screw in after one hole. Now I've taken these screws and I've treated them with beeswax beforehand so they go in the holes easier. This is older, hard wood, so we'll make sure that they go in easier and don't strip the screw out. Now we'll just turn that all the way in. Make sure we like how it's setting. That it's lined up to our satisfaction. And we'll drill the next hole. All right, now that I have two of the screws in the style here, the side of the door, I'll put one screw into the door. And we'll just tighten the last of our screws here. Kind of make them look nice and where we line them up. And there. One hinge done, 3 more to go. Well, just finishing up the last few turns on the hasp here. And we have the icebox hinges put on, all 4. The hasp in the middle, and I'll bring the camera around in a minute. You can see the finished product after I stand it up. Well, there we have it. Nice ice chest with solid brass hinges. I'll show you how it opens. Just flip this up. It opens up. If you want to close it, just that in there. It's closed and hasped. So what do you think of that? Not too hard to take an old piece of furniture, make a few small changes to it, and make it look like something brand new. This is Papa Steve's Workshop, and I'm Papa Steve.